Does this image show an alien being punched in the face? UFO hunter claims he struggled with an ET before being abducted as captured by Google satellites. Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. This new story has just hit the web here, and I definitely wanted to make a video about it. I'm completely on the fence here, but it's, you know, sometimes when you get a story that is so outrageous that a lot of people just overlook it and say, yeah, it's funny, and that very well may be the case here. But I stress the fact that, as has been seen many times before, some of the most unbelievable stories that people have just laughed at and brushed off in the past have been the ones that oftentimes turn out to be true. So I'll just give you the breakdown of what happened here, what's hitting the web with regards to this story. So basically, in a nutshell, a man claimed that he was abducted by aliens, actually had to fight one off, or tried to fight one off, before being abducted. And what he's saying here is that the actual abduction, along with the UFOs that abducted him, were actually, by chance, I guess, captured and can be found on Google Earth. So they were captured by one of the satellites that was mapping the Earth. This happened last year, and you're seeing that image here from Google Earth. The man's name is John Mooner from Newton Abbott. He says he was abducted by aliens last year. He does not remember the encounter, but recalled episodes of missing time. That is something that actually happens with many abductions, but we'll talk more about that in a second. Mr. Moore decided to look on Google Maps for the area that he went UFO hunting. He says that the cameras caught him punching a gray alien in the face before it abducted him. So, the self-proclaimed ufologist has claimed footage of himself fighting off and being abducted by aliens has been caught on Google Maps. You're seeing that here. And I'm guessing what we're seeing here, these bright spots here, these may be the actual alleged UFOs with the light reflecting off of them, which, if you're on Google Earth or Google Maps, a lot of the times you will see planes passing by, and you will get these like sort of massive light refractions up in the satellite camera, just like what we're seeing here, but usually you can still make out the fact that they're planes. These look like light that's being reflected off something that, I mean, we don't see any sort of body of a plane. So that is strange, I'll give him that. And it would seem that we have two of them, right next to one another, reflecting light, moving over this neighborhood. So I'm not sure what these could be if they're not planes. Now, also in this image, the man says that there's actually a picture of him fighting off one of these gray aliens. So I guess this was taken just before he was abducted. The UFOs are flying overhead. He's down here in his backyard, in his garden, fighting off a gray alien, and that is this. Here's a close-up here of him fighting off a gray alien. And I guess this here would be him. You can see what looks like a head, shoulders, arms, and then another smaller figure here that looks gray, looks to have a head on top, shoulders, arm, and I gotta be honest, it kind of does look like two figures, at least, doing something. Whether it's fighting, tussling, ballroom dancing, who knows? But it is strange, isn't it? That strangely does look like an adult figure and like maybe a small child figure. I mean, I'm just showing you what this guy is saying is him. Like I said, I'm totally on the fence with this. But then again, there have been some extremely prolific alien abduction cases that have to this day not been explained. And as I've said many times before, when researching and, hell, running a channel on this topic, you really have to keep an open mind. The moment that you start saying, okay, that's just too crazy even for me, it's got to be a hoax, it's got to be nonsense, I'm not even going to make a video about it. I mean, the moment you start doing that, I think, let's just say, I think that it's extremely arrogant to rule out anything, especially in a topic like this where we know so little, and there have been so many instances of unexplained events and phenomena that have happened throughout the years, mind-blowing stuff that still cannot be explained to this day. I'm just not going to rule anything out, and it's a big help having you guys here because I think you guys are a very good counterweight to me, because I agree, sometimes I get even pulled into one single story and maybe I don't see all of the angles. And then so I post a video and I read all of your comments and I say, okay, these guys have helped me put things into perspective, and maybe I wasn't thinking right on this. And that's what research is about. That's what this channel is about. I always take, a stance of, what do you guys think? I'm not saying with 100% certainty what is or isn't happening here. So, the pictures here were released by Mr. Mooner, who claims that he took them from Google Maps. Now, unfortunately, we do not have coordinates for these. Now, I'm not sure if that's because he wants to hide his address. He doesn't want people to know exactly where he lives, which I can understand. But it would help to have coordinates, for obvious reasons. Mr. Mooner is quoted as saying that the shocking thing about this was that it's me being abducted by a gray alien, and the satellite image clearly shows me trying to fight off the gray alien by punching it in the face. Looking at the image, it appeared that the alien blocked my punch and has grabbed my fist and must be able to subdue me. Mr. Mooner claims that he does not remember the abduction at all, but is convinced it is himself in this footage. He said that I do, however, remember sporadic episodes of missing time throughout the year of 2016 and going back through the previous years. He further said, I do remember wearing a black baseball cap and shirt, and this is definitely me on this satellite image. The alleged abductee also claimed that many encounters with aliens in his local area have happened over the past years, many of them being reported in the local paper. So yeah, there you have it. I'm on the fence about this. Like I said, it would have been just as easy for someone to go on Google Maps, find a specific area that had some reflective lights on it, also find something else that kind of looked like a person standing in a garden, and say, yeah, this was me getting abducted by aliens. He won't provide any coordinates. That's a problem. I just don't know enough about this guy to say definitively whether this even seems remotely legitimate. I don't know. Apparently, from my research, this guy has made some other amazing claims in the past, but I'll let you guys look at these Google Map photographs here. Tell me what you think. Now, on the other hand, as I said before, whether this turns out to be true or not, alien abductions have happened. You want to call them demonic abductions, alien abductions, out-of-body experiences, whatever you want to call it. People have left their body or have disappeared. They've lost time. Many of them have suffered from the very same episode where they have been taken aboard some sort of unknown craft. They remember laying on tables, being operated on, poked or prodded, having implants put in their body or underneath their skin. We recently did a video about the doctor who has performed hundreds of surgeries where he has removed foreign alien implants, things that are not man-made, things that many times will be protected or wrapped in these membranes so you can't even cut in and take them out. And many of them will be infused with the nerves and the veins underneath the person's skin. So it's literally impossible to take them out without killing that person or doing some very serious damage. If you are interested in alien abduction cases, I highly suggest you look into something of maybe the Travis Walton abduction, one of the most famous alien abductions ever. They made a film based on it called Fire in the Sky. Travis Walton was one of 7 men who were working on a forestry team in Snowflake, Arizona, who, when heading home one night, encountered what they thought was a crashed airplane, only to find out that it was a massive glowing flying saucer. At one point, Travis Walton, one of the men, was abducted by the UFO, went missing for nearly an entire week before suddenly reappearing, thinking that he had only been gone for a few hours. He recalled memories of being interrogated by 3 alien gray-like creatures who performed experiments on him on the craft. And as I said, this is one of the most famous stories and one of the most convincing. Everyone that had anything to do with it, all of the men, including Walton, have stuck with their stories all of these years later. And this originally occurred back in 1975. As a matter of fact, I am actually in contact with Mrs. Susan Wade, who is the wife of Steve Pierce, who was the youngest of the logging crew who witnessed the abduction of Travis. She actually sent me a letter a couple of weeks ago, a very nice letter, along with a couple copies of a new book that was written by her husband. You're seeing pictures here of that letter that she sent, along with these copies of this book that she wanted me to feature on the channel. I'm just now getting around to looking at this stuff, but this thing really happened. You're seeing the book here. It's entitled Silent Witness. It says, after 35 years of silence, UFO witness Steve Pierce has a written description which tells his side of the Travis Walton abduction story. So she sent me a couple copies of this book, and it's very, very interesting. It's not very long at all. It's just a simple book her husband has self-published here, it appears. And you know what? I'm actually going to email her, and I'm going to find out where you guys can get a copy, because it's very, very interesting. And it's just amazing to me that the wife of one of the men who is a part of probably the most famous alien abduction story ever has gotten into contact with me, and who is actually a personal fan of the channel, as she indicated in her letter. So, yeah, I will get back to you guys on these books and where you can get it. I'm going to get back in contact with her. But there's hundreds of other amazing abduction cases that have not been explained, and I do not want this story, if it does come out to be a hoax, I'm talking about the Google satellite story, do not lose faith and be convinced that alien abductions have not happened, because they have. And, there's actually a very good documentary on Netflix. I think it's still on Netflix, but I want all of you guys to watch it if you haven't yet, and this kind of goes into alien abductions. The film is called The Nightmare, and it is one of the scariest films I have ever watched, and I don't get scared easily. But basically, it's a documentary who follows around this group of people from all different parts of the world who suffer from sleep paralysis. And for those of you who don't know, sleep paralysis is one of the scariest things ever. It's basically where you wake up in the middle of the night and you're basically paralyzed. And not only that, but many of the times you're wide awake, but you're in a nightmare, or what you think is a nightmare. And what this documentary found out is that there are people all over the world that suffer from this same nightmare that contain the same entities within them. Many different people, the very same nightmare, and it's really, really creepy. And it all ties into aliens as well. And it ties into demons, aliens, whatever you want to think it is. It's creepy. Creepy as hell. So go and watch it. It's called The Nightmare, and it'll kind of give you a look into this phenomena of being abducted or experiencing these entities. So thank you guys for watching today. Let me know what you think about this story. I'll put a link down below to one of the news websites that posted on it. And stay tuned. I've got a lot more coming. New UFO footage, things happening in space, a lot of cool stuff. So thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you back here in just a bit.